Hey everyone, this is Razador's Pokemon Shenanigans, and welcome to our end of the year special. Since the Pokemon Ruby with Bruno's yellow team and moves was so fun, I figured I'd try another one. This time as Wally from Hoenn going through Pokemon Fire Red. Here's a quick rundown of the rules. We can only use Wally's team in combat. Now, all these Pokemon except for Roselia, there's no Roserade until Gen 4, will need to evolve, so obviously we'll have to build up to that. That said, we also have to end the run with his team's exact moveset. Quite the upgrade from what we had in our last team run, let me tell you. This time around, we also have to match the abilities of Wally's team as well. I wasn't able to find anything about their specific natures, so I just went with a neutral stat gain one. I would much prefer Trace over Synchronize for our Ralts, Corellia, Gardevoir, but Synchronize itself is also pretty useful, especially with how much Gen 3 loves status moves like Stun Spore and Thunder Wave. We're running on 0 IVs because, I think, Wally's team doesn't have them in either Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald, and considering how much we beat him up in Invasive Species, I'd say that's pretty on brand for our protagonist. I'm allowed to have a 6th team member for the sole purpose of HM usage. We have to catch 60 Pokemon for the National Dex anyway, but HMs are mandatory to make progress. Wally's team sans Magnemite Magneton can't even be found until the player obtains the National Dex, so in order to get this team, I simply did the same thing I did in my Bruno run. I cloned Ralts, whom I gave to us via the Universal Pokemon Randomizer. Then I changed them using the PK Hex software. Overall, this team's pretty good, though I'm really dreading that Delcatty's final moveset. Unfortunately, though, we can complete our Delcatty super fast, because this is Skitty's Gen 3 moveset. At level 27, not only do we learn Feint Attack, the last move we need, but we can go ahead and use a Moonstone to evolve Skitty into Delcatty so we get better stat gains. And while it's definitely the weakest member of the team, Delcatty's not bringing power to the table, it's bringing utility. Charm will be useful, seeing as a coin flip for sleep, so at least we have that. And you never know what Delcatty can pull out of a bag of holding by using Assist. Cute Charm is also a phenomenal ability, 30% chance to proc Attract on Pokemon of the opposite gender, that's pretty sweet. I don't think the beginning is going to be too hard since Roselia has a 400 base stat total, which is about on par with Ivysaur, meaning that the first 2 gyms shouldn't be a problem. At the same time, however, we'll want to make sure that we level up everyone at the same pace, which is kind of problematic because there are all sorts of different level up groups here. Swablu in particular is going to be a real pain, because it's in the erratic level up group, so it will require the most XP, by far, in the early game. Oh yeah, and we have to grind up a Ralts. I mean, it gets Confusion at level 6, but still, it's a Ralts, man. Now, I bring leveling up into the equation as well as level up groups, because we have one final stipulation. We have to finish the main story at, or under, the highest level for each of these Pokemon, so when we arrive at and beat the champion, with the following level caps or under for each of Wally's team members. Altaria 56, Delcatty 55, Roselia 56, Magneton 53, Gardevoir 57. I think it's plenty doable, though there's a slim chance we might not actually complete Magneton's moveset as it learns Screech at level 53. That said, like we do in all Fire Red runs that are not Invasive Species, we are doing the Postgame as well. And since those level caps are way too low for Postgame fights, I'm gonna go ahead and raise it once we get back to the league for the rematch battles. Level cap for the entire postgame will be that of the champion starter, level 75. Cool? Cool. Now, let's move on from Brock and get to where the run truly begins, Cerulean City. Now, the first order of business here in Cerulean City is for us to go ahead and break into that guy's house, go into the backyard without his permission, and steal the candy that he almost certainly had for someone for Halloween. After stealing that out-of-season candy, first real order of business, I should say, is we're gonna go to the Cerulean Gym, not fight Misty, but we're gonna sweep the trainers with Magnemite to get it a little bit of experience points. And they, of course, end up not being a problem at all. We have same type Thunder Shock. It's pretty good for this point in the game. But I'd like for our roster to be a little bit stronger before fighting Misty, so we're going to battle the Cerulean rival. The plan is to lead off with Magnemite. It resists all of Pidgeotto's attacks, and Sand Attack might be annoying, but there's really not much it can do to us. To my great surprise and delight, no Sand Attack. And we're gonna level up, learn Sonic Boom. We'll go and get rid of Tackle. Constant 20 damage over Tackle's base 35 power. Yeah, that's an upgrade. As Squirtle comes out, wasted turn with Withdraw, Metal Sound. We're gonna switch over to Roselia, and yeah, it's pretty done. This fight right here, pretty much why I want to save Misty for a little bit later. Once we have Mega Drain over Absorb, gonna be much more manageable. Next up, our rival sends out his useless Aber, so we'll send out our useless Swablu. We still have Astonish. Might as well get some mileage out of that in this fight. It's gonna be a 3-shot, but not a big deal. Aber can only spam teleport. It goes down. We're gonna keep out Swablu for Rattata and hope to heck we can actually beat it. Yes, I just said that. I'm worried that I cannot defeat a single Rattata. A case in point, we get brought to 1 health despite putting Rattata to sleep, and we gained very little bit of experience points. Another reason why I want to grind off of trainers before Misty. Not that we're going to use Swablu for Misty anyway. Speaking of which, a couple of growths, Stun Spore to make Staryu slower than us, and then we are going to go for good old Mega Drain being properly powered up, easy one-shot, full health for Starmie. And mind you, the growth setup was specifically for Starmie, and you'll see the Zero IVs really kicking in here. Despite all of that, we don't one-shot Starmie with Mega Drain. Not a big deal, though. We're not in any danger in this fight. We set up Growth as she uses a Super Potion, take a weak Swift, one-shot with Mega Drain, and we're good to go. Next up, we're going to make our way to the SS Anne, battle the eponymous rival there, and I'm thinking similar strategy to how we battled him here in Cerulean City. Magnemite is really starting to come ahead with how useful it is. Steel typing this early on, well, Kanto wasn't built for it, so it's pretty darn good, despite being a first form Pokemon. And as if our rival heard my snark from the last fight, right there, Sand Attack, but we do hit with Thunder Shock, almost one-shot it. Again, even with that critical quick attack, very little Pidgeotto can do to us. And upon leveling up, we are going to learn Thunder Wave. We'll go and replace Metal Sound. Don't really need it anymore. Thunder Wave going to be extremely useful while we have it. Finally, we can fit in with a Gen 3 Love Status crowd. Case in point, Wartortle's faster, goes for Withdraw. We paralyze it with Thunder Wave, so now we are faster. Now, we do miss a Thunder Shock thanks to Sand Attack, but Wartortle keeps going for Withdraw, really trying to buff up against our non-existent physical attacks. So we're going to swap over to Roselia, hit it with Leech Seed, and I'm just going to be a little cheeky here, and, well, that turned out to be a bit of a mistake. We do get punished by a critical bite, but not that big of a deal. We can go and set up some more growths while Wartortle tries in vain to take us out before it gets seeded away. And we do all of that to swap into Swablu to give it a little bit of experience points. Unfortunately, it gets hit with Bite as Wartortle goes down. To keep Swablu into the fight here, we'll go ahead and swap over to Skitty. And what's awesome here is we get hit by Hyper Fang. Well, that's not awesome, but the fact that Cute Charm procs right away is very awesome. Raticate immediately loses its turn to Attraction as Assist pulls Growl out of the bag of holding. Thanks to that, though, we survive another Hyper Fang and land a couple of hits of Double Slap for about a third of Raticate's health before we go down. Oh, or not. We can maybe finish it. Oh, no, there we go. Now we're done. I go to send in Swablu, hoping to take it out, but now Hyper Fang doesn't take us out, but we flinch, so we're going to swap into something that can actually fight. Well, funny that. Turns out that once Raticate fights something that can actually fight back, it's not a problem at all. Bye-bye. Knowing Kadabra's faster, I go for Supersonic, hoping for confusion, but the coin flip goes to heads, not tails. Well, despite Kinesis, we go for Thunder Wave, and it connects. That is awesome. Corellia is pretty much our only hope against Kadabra, the SS Anne rival being hard. Oh, when has that ever happened? But thanks to Thunder Wave and some confusion luck in our favor, although we do hit ourselves thanks to Kadabra's confusion, we're able to chip this thing down with Corellia, take it out, and we win, so time to go fight Lieutenant Surge. Surge leads with Voltorb. We're going to have Roselia lead off, and the first Leech Seed unfortunately misses 10% chance, but not the second. I really do appreciate the fact that Leech Seed is a permanent move on our moveset here. And unfortunately, the same cannot be said for Growth, but we'll deal with that later on. We're going to appreciate having that move all we can. We'll set up another Growth as Voltorb goes for Tackle. We get health back from Leech Seed. Surge sends out Pikachu with all of our Growths. Yep, that's going to be a very easy one-shot with Mega Drain. Raichu ends up going for Double Team. Despite that, Leech Seed does connect on the first try. That is amazing. We paralyze each other off of Thunder Wave and Stun Spore. Surge goes for a full heal as we set up another Growth. And then Raichu starts laying an absolute beatdown upon our current ace. Quick Attack takes out Roselia. Time to send out Magnemite. Thunder Wave fortunately does connect, so we're now faster. Between Leech Seed and Thunder Shock, Raichu goes down. Pretty easy Surge fight. And we level up again. Good job, Magnemite. So, Magnemite is really shaping up to take Roselia's place as MVP as we transition to the finale of the first act of the game. Unfortunately for our little pal Swablu, he's been falling behind until we get to Erica's gym, and because Aerial Ace is one of the final moves that we need for when it becomes Altaria, this is the perfect place to train this little guy up. And I gotta say, having a ton of fun with this challenge so far. Like, obviously everything up to Brock was gonna be super easy. We outnumbered the optional rival west of Viridian. Weedle could do literally nothing to Magnemite, so that was the only time I really ever used Tackle in this run. But what I've actually been enjoying most about this grinding is having to remember everyone's level of groups like Skitty, now Delcatty. You'll see that in a sec if it hasn't appeared on screen already. Because it's in the fast level up group, we got to 27 super fast, and the moveset's all done, which is awesome. But Swablu here has definitely been the dead weight of the run so far, so we really gotta catch this little guy up. Once it becomes Altaria, it's gonna become a lot better. Not that Altaria is amazing by any means, but a massive upgrade to what we're using right now. However, it's around this time where Swablu is not complete deadweight, because Swablu has the move Safeguard, and trust me, we're gonna see that move get used like crazy later on. We are here too because the Grass Gym loves status moves, but you'll see what I mean. Now, you'll see me set against Erica a couple of times. I could lead off with Cerulean, but I really want Swablu to KO this Victory Bell because of the massive XP this thing is going to yield. Now, what I'm hoping will happen is that Swablu will get poison, the Pecha Berry will cure it, and while we set up Safeguard, then Victory Bell will keep going for it, but no such luck this time. But speaking of luck, critical hit Aerial Ace takes out the Victory Bell. Very nice job, Swablu. She sends out Tangela. I'm thinking Magnemite's going to be the best option here. It can't do anything to us, really. And we can use Thunder Wave to guarantee that we go first, and of course the 1 in 4 chance it loses its turn outright. We hit with Sonic Boom as Erica uses a full heal, but well, we'll just slap Thunder Wave back on and go for Supersonic. Now, you know what? I'm liking the fact that Sonic Boom hasn't missed yet. We're going to try and beat this thing down. Unfortunately, Erica does heal with a Hyper Potion, Spark doing a lot more damage than I thought. Maybe I should stick with that. It is a war of attrition in our favor, though. Case in point, Tangela goes down. Last but certainly not least is Vileplume. I'm gonna paralyze this thing right away. Even better, Supersonic connects and it loses its turn to Paralysis. Time to send in Corellia. We go for Calm Mind, Vileplume hits itself, follow up with Confusion, get a critical hit that we probably needed to take it out from that health, but doesn't matter. Down goes Erica. Still doing pretty solid against all these major trainers. Now, we could go battle Giovanni right now if we wanted to, but I kind of want to see how we stack up against the Lavender Tower rival. Giovanni we already know we can defeat because 2 of his Pokemon are instant kills with Roselia's same type Mega Drain. And with Leech Seed, there's no possible way Kangaskhan is going to take out our entire team. This team, though, has been upgraded a fair bit since last time. Well, mostly. Bye-bye, Pidgeotto. So we're actually going to send in Delcatty this time, and we end up going for Assist and Pull Out Cut, do good damage. Ember doesn't deal too much to us. Assist, Leech Seed, Ember, love it. The Feint Attack nearly takes it out, but the follow-up seals the deal. Assist gives us Thunder Wave. I gotta say, this luck has been pretty awesome, though I don't like that we got put to sleep. But hey, can't have everything. We send in Swablu, Aerial Ace, Safeguard, we get hit by Leech Seed. Despite a crit from Execute, Swablu takes him down. We'll go ahead and let Swablu faint so we can get a free swap in here. We'll send out Magnemite, go for Spark, almost one-shot it. Spark gets disabled, we go for Sonic Boom, it doesn't miss. Bye-bye Kadabra. As Wartortle comes out, Thunder Wave, Supersonic both connect. We'll go and swap in Roselia for Leech Seed, it connects, and yeah, Wartortle is Dunyan Rings, but it's gonna be that nice, slow burn kind of Dunyan Rings, you know, the crispy one, that fresh in the box order of fries. And speaking of done, Corellia, after Calm Mind and surviving a critical rock throw, Psychic takes it down. Kangaskhan goes for Tail Whip instead of finishing us off, though it doesn't really matter because Corellia, bye-bye. So we'll send out our reliable Magneton. Yeah, it's a Magneton now. Thunder Wave, now we're faster. And yeah, between all of that, nothing that Kangaskhan can do to us because Steel does still resist Dark-type here in Generation 3. As Rhyhorn comes out, we're going to send in Roselia, and yeah, goodbye Giovanni. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Yeah, Koga, we have Gardevoir now, and he's able to one-shot everything on Koga's team except for Muck, who doesn't damage us. Heading on over to Saffron where we hit up Silph Co. We're gonna battle our rival here. He's typically challenging, so let's see if he is with this team. He now has Pidgeot, who goes for Feather Dance, a great move as we go for Spark. He slips in a quick attack before we take him out with a second Spark. We're gonna switch over to Altaria as he sends out Growlithe. We get hit by Flame Wheel. Our Dragon typing helps us resist it. We trade blows with Growlithe, but are able to overpower it. As Execute comes out, we're going to go for Aerial Ace, deal pretty good damage there, and he ends up going for... oh, Stun Spore, but he probably could have finished us off with Confusion. Nice. And I go for Astonish, trying to be cheeky here, but that does leave Execute with a Sliver. As we set up Safeguard, we get hit by Confusion, so down we go. I deserved that one. We'll send out Delcatty to finish with Feint Attack, and as he sends out Alakazam, we want to put that thing to sleep ASAP, and thankfully we are able to hit with our Coin Flip luck. Always pick Tails. We get hit pretty hard by Future Sight, but we are able to take out Alakazam with 19 health remaining. Blastoise comes out, outspeeds us, and finishes off Delcatty with Bite. Out comes Magneton, we get hit by a critical Water Gun, but we're able to paralyze him, so now we're going to be faster. Well, we still have Roselia, so we should be okay. As we go for Giga Drain, Blastoise goes for Protect. Forgot it had that. But really, it's just wearing down the clock here. Can't do much to us, and down it goes. And not gonna lie, I thought that would take us multiple tries, and that would have been a lot easier if I didn't just use Astonish to be cheeky there. Really gotta get rid of that move. But oh well, lesson learned, right? We have one more major trainer before Silph Co is freed of Team Rocket, and then we can go fight Sabrina. So you'd think that the lesson would be learned, right? Well, thing is that Giovanni here at Silph Co is normally very easy. In fact, notoriously so, whether it's Gen 1 or Gen 3, and well, here I actually go into the fight thinking, oh, you know, it was just a one-time fluke. We're gonna be alright. Come here, Giovanni. And I mean, hey, we start off really strong here as Gardevoir one-shots Nidorino. Nidoqueen comes out, paralyzes us with Body Slam, but we're able to paralyze it due to Synchronize, and we take it out with 35 health. We'll send out Magneton for Kangaskhan because Steel typing resists all of Kangaskhan's best moves. Man, I'm going to be really sad when we have to get rid of Thunder Wave. No wonder the Gen 3 AI loves it so much. And while I should have kept in Magneton, I got a little cheeky there trying to hit Kangaskhan with Leech Seed to get some health back, but, well, one Mega Punch and we're done. But Delcatty comes out and finishes it with Feint Attack. This part here is pretty funny. We're poisoned, we go for Assist, and we end up taking our far-fetched Fly, and, well, we fall in the air. Falco would be disappointed in our preference for the ground. But really, it's just a matter of time before Rhyhorn goes down, although it does take out our Altaria, leaving Magneton to finish it with a pair of Sonic Booms. Yeah, not gonna lie, it was a little cocky there. So let's go fight Sabrina and make up for that, shall we? We one-shot Kadabra with Aerial Ace, don't want that thing sticking around. Dragon Breath paralyzes Mr. Mime, it goes for Barrier, we go for Aerial Ace and crit, so that Barrier was a waste of time. Venomoth, surprisingly, is not a one-shot. It hits us with a weak Psybeam, and not a big deal. Down it goes. Alakazam's Calm Mind Psychic combo almost one-shots us, but it doesn't, so we two-shot it with Aerial Ace. Blaine's up next, and honestly, this is going to be pretty hard. We don't have any good moves for fire types. I decided to lead off with Gardevoir and go for Calm Mind to protect us a bit more against Fire Blast, and Growlithe ends up not doing all that much. It switches to Takedown as we set up another, and then we finish it off with Psychic. So, Arcanine, that's a little early for your ace, goes for a Takedown, takes out Gardevoir. Altaria's Dragon Breath deals like a fifth, and then we end up setting up Safeguard. That probably protected us from Fire Blast's burn. I get burnt by that a lot in Invasive Species. We're unable to overpower Arcanine with Altaria, so we're going to take a chance and send out Magneton. Hope for a Fire Blast miss. It doesn't miss and actually crits us, so yeah, overkill there. Next up, we send out Delcatty and get one shot by Fire Blast. It's up to Roselia. And here's where this battle takes an absolutely crazy turn. Watch how lucky Roselia got here. Now, Arcanine is going for a Takedown. I guess it ran out of Fire Blast, which is really nice. Takedown still does a ton of damage to us, though, but with Toxic racking up, Leech Seed healing us, and Giga Drain, we're able to hang in there just long enough. Takedown missed quite a few times here, a fact I love, by the way. Roselia KOing Arcanine is not something I saw coming. Unfortunately, he's got two Pokemon left, and Ponyta finishes off Roselia with Fire Blast. That is gonna be one of the most epic losses I've ever suffered, not just in this channel, but even when I play Pokemon casually. That was ridiculous, man. You know, anime protagonists wish they could be defeated in such an awesome manner, but I digress. Yeah, this is a very difficult fight, but I think I've got a solution for this. I wish we could take Randance and teach Magneton Thunder. That would be awesome, but no, not part of his moveset. And to be fair to Blaine, he is typically the hardest trainer for us to fight in Invasive Species, at least pre-Elite Four, so it's pretty awesome that that's consistent. His team in Fire Red is actually quite good, as you can see. So we're going to take a big risk here by starting with Altaria. We do resist Fire Blast. We're going to set up Safeguard to protect us from Fire Blast's burn, and that seems to change Growlithe's AI to preferring Takedown. Pretty risky, especially since we got crit. One more takedown brings us to 11 health, and that's fine because we go for Aerial Ace, easily take out Growlithe with all those attack boosts from Dragon Dance setup. In fact, we one-shot sweep our way all the way to Arcanine. Intimidate does drop our attack, but even then, we weren't going to one-shot it. Great job by Altaria. Let's try and finish this thing off. Fire Blast almost one-shots Gardevoir, but we crit with Psychic, take him down. Now, since in this run we're doing the post-game as well, might as well go ahead and head over to the Sevi Isles. We can get the first act of the Sevi Isles done, and then get a couple of hidden items along the way. Although, this time around, the little PowerPoint up I like going for behind the cut tree, well, I don't have an HM user with cut, so we're going to have to come back for that one later. I thought that was pretty funny. And next up is the 8th gym leader, the ground-type leader, Giovanni. Not worried about this fight at all. Our team, besides Magneton, is pretty good against this team. We're going to lead off with Roselia, because he'll send out the second Rhyhorn. Both of them already gone, only 3 more to go. Dugtrio hits us with a weak slash, but goes down to 1 Magical Leaf. We hit Nidoqueen with Leech Seed before it takes us out with Earthquake. Great work by Roselia. And what we're going to do from here is waste some of Nidoqueen's Earthquakes, and by some, I mean all of them, by switching out Altaria and Magneton, so Altaria can quote-unquote get hit by Earthquake. Look at that, we're already good. Unfortunately, doesn't do too much to Nidoking, but Gardevoir should be able to finish it. He does. That Future Sight setup wasn't required, but hey, no kill quite like overkill. Isn't that right, Badge's rival? As usual, he sends out Pidgeot. We go with Magneton. This has become a rivalry at this point. Top 10 anime rivalry right here, baby. Unfortunately for him, there's not a whole lot he can do to Magneton. And we can take him out pretty easily with Spark. He'll send out Growlithe because of Magneton's Steel typing, so we're going to set out Altaria, and yep, there's the Flame Wheel. Not a lot of damage, no burn, thankfully. And no Intimidate attack drop. We don't have anything terribly great for Growlithe, so we're going to try to overpower it with Dragon Breath, and although it's very close, we do finish off Growlithe with 12 hit points remaining. He sends out Rhyhorn. We'll go ahead and swap out to Roselia, and fortunately for us, he misses takedown. 15% chance, I think, for that. We'll go ahead and use Magical Leaf. Rhyhorn's double weak to it. We get same type. Yeah, bye-bye. We'll go ahead and slap Toxic onto Alakazam there. Wanted to set up Leech Seed, but no dice. Easily one-shot by Psychic. Magneton has a pretty funny little duel with Alakazam here. We go for Spark and deal good damage. It ends up disabling Spark as I go for it, so we kind of wasted our turn there as well. Goes for Psychic. Steel does resist, thankfully, and we miss Sonic Boom, but Toxic takes him down. And Blastoise's Water Gun crits Magneton for the second time between 2 fights. Man, that Blastoise hates our Magneton. So we're going to have to send out Gardevoir to try to overpower it. 11 level difference there. Now what I should have done was go for Future Sight while he was setting up Rain Dance. That way we could have swapped into, say, Delcatty as we go down here. And then perhaps Future Sight would have actually taken it out. But, well, Rain Dance plus Water Gun from Blastoise takes out Delcatty. That was due to Blastoise's ability Torrent. Torrent powers up water moves by 50% if the Pokemon is at 1/3 health or lower. We absolutely need Magneton to get to Blastoise because we need to paralyze it with Thunder Wave so that it loses the speed advantage. Our team is pretty under-leveled. It has been for most of the run. A fact I love, by the way. And this attempt right here could not have started any more perfect. We hit Pidgeot with Spark as it goes for Feather Dance. Pointless, of course. It gets paralyzed, so now we are faster. Well, I guess it could have gone better. Could have lost its turn, but hey, I thought that was pretty cool. For Growlithe, we're actually going to swap into Gardevoir here. It goes for Agility, and we take it out with a critical Psychic. As Blastoise comes out, we get hit by Bite as we set up a single double team. Then we're going to set off a Future Sight. And although we survive the follow-up Bite, we do end up getting flinched as Future Sight hits, and Blastoise, with about half health, finishes us off with Rapid Spin. Never thought I'd say that. We send out Magneton, get hit by Water Gun, no crit this time. Thunder Wave does cause him to lose his speed advantage, but we still get taken out. We'll send out Roselia to mop up with Magical Leaf. He sends out Alakazam. We'll go ahead and let Roselia faint. I was hoping for a Future Sight, but no dice. Altaria does good damage to Alakazam. He swaps out into Rhyhorn as we go for Dragon Breath. The second one takes him down as Execute comes out, set up Safeguard. There's the Stun Spore, the Gen 3 Love Status Lock-In. Now, I know that I don't need all 6 Dragon Dances to take out Execute and a wounded Alakazam, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You're seeing the Gen 3 Love Status Lock on full display, and I absolutely love when I get the chance to pull this off. As we are fully powered up, neither Execute nor the wounded Alakazam stand a chance against our super buffed Altaria. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way to the league. I am a bit concerned about Lorelei. The fact that her team has a lot of ice moves makes Altaria kind of a dud, so it kind of feels like it was at the start of the run, so that should be very familiar. Roselia, kind of in the same boat there. I feel like Magneton is really gonna be the one to pull weight in this fight. I also made sure to get the TM for Thunderbolt, because let me tell you, we are absolutely going to need that. And of course, we're going to lead off with Magneton because Lorelei leads off with Dewgong. That's a great matchup in our favor. Unfortunately for us, however, Thunderbolt does not quite one-shot. It's very close. But that's also okay because Lorelei wastes a full restore. Thunderbolt tri-attack combo takes it down. Now, as Cloyster comes out, it sets up spikes, which is kind of unfortunate because we're doing a team run. But we hit it with Thunder Wave. We're going to swap in Roselia and then hit it with Leech Seed. That way, Leech Seed can heal Magneton, and we're just going to kind of stall for time here. We have to be careful, though, because Cloyster does no dive. It's not a very strong move, but it will undo some of Leech Seed's healing. Fortunately, we do take out Cloyster with full health as Slowbro comes out, going for Thunder Wave just for the Paralysis. We're already faster. Amnesia's not great. Supersonic great. Losing turn to Paralysis, even better. Top that awesomeness with a critical Thunderbolt. Use Thunder Wave against Lapras here. We trade Thunderbolt and Surf for big damage. We get confused ourselves, but thankfully we power through it and take out the Lapras. Jinx finishes off Magneton with Ice Punch. I didn't see that coming, so, yeah, this is a bit of a problem. We send out Delcatty, hit a weak feint attack before going down, so it's really up to Gardevoir here because, well, Altaria is 4 times weak to Ice Punch, and Roselia also weak to Ice Punch. And of course, as I say that, we get hit by Attract and lose an ungodly amount of turns due to being immobilized by Love, which is kind of BS, but you know, with some of the great luck we got earlier, really can't complain. Oh yeah, Jinx is also very fast, naturally outspeeds Altaria and Roselia. So we're absolutely going to need Magneton to take out Jinx, I think. I mean, we don't deal super effective damage with Thunderbolt, but Steel typing does resist Ice, so if we can get to Jinx with higher health on Magneton, we should be alright. Problem there is that Magneton is also kind of the linchpin behind this entire team when fighting Lorelei. Roselia has super effective moves, but is pretty weak at this point in the game, basically there for Toxic and Leech Seed, which is useful utility, but we don't really need useful utility against Lorelei. We need to brute force our way past her. We kinda have one arm tied behind our back in this fight because 2 of our 5 team members are pretty much useless here. Yeah, sure, I could maybe set up, like, 6 Dragon Dances on Cloyster with Altaria, but nah. I don't think Aerial Ace would one-shot Lapras even with that, and that would all be for naught. And speaking of brute force, as we dispose of Dewgong, go straight for Thunderbolt against Cloyster, take it out, not surprised there. What does surprise me is that we one-shot Slowbro with Thunderbolt. That's awesome. We paralyze Lapras off of Thunderbolt, get hit by Confuse Ray, power through it, take it down. We're at full health for Jinx. That's great. The other reason Magneton is awesome for Jinx is that it's immune to Attract, which he has saw before. Very annoying to fight. Well, Lovely Kiss does put us to sleep for a few turns. Thankfully, because we resist Ice, we wake up, and we're able to take out Jinx with a couple of tri-attacks. So yeah, Magneton required for that. Now, unlike Lorelei, against Bruno, we have an amazing matchup, and as he sends out Onix, of course we're going to lead off with Roselia, and because it's an Onix, we could take it out with Absorb at this point, it wouldn't matter, but against Hitmonchan, I figured to keep it up. The combination of Leech Seed and Toxic, actually, believe it or not, is enough to take it down. However, Hitmonlee comes out one-shots with Mega Kick. Now, against Hitmonlee, what we're going to do is we're going to set up 2 Dragon Dances with Altaria, and both Mega Kicks hit. Thankfully, we don't get crit by it. With our second one set up, 1 Aerial Ace takes out Hitmonlee. Unfortunately, as Machamp comes out, we're not strong enough to take it out. Takes out Altaria with Rock Tomb, but that's not a problem because we have Gardevoir fighting a wounded Machamp, take it out quite easily with Psychic. We don't one-shot Onix with Psychic either. That is 0 IVs and probably bad EV training. Definitely bad EV training at work. Didn't expect that, but that was quite simple. And you might think that Agatha would be difficult, but no, the Gengar she leads off with is absolutely perfect for us to lead with Altaria. That thing knows Toxic and Confuse Ray, 2 things that Safeguard protects us from. And this Gengar also knows Double Team, which normally would be pretty dangerous because as it keeps building up, the evasion boost increases. But the thing is, well, Aerial Ace, though it's only 60 base power, we get same type due to being part flying, It also does not check for accuracy or evasion, meaning that it will always hit, assuming a Pokemon is not underground or in the air. And although I can't quite say that Altaria one-shot sweeps everything, especially once we get hit by Arbok's Intimidate, it puts in amazing work. It's just destroying Agatha's team, and unfortunately, as we get to the last Gengar, it's left with a sliver. We go down, very unfortunate. We were able to set off Safeguard before going down, so we were protected by Hypnosis as Gardevoir finished it with Psychic, and there's Haunter, and Haunter goes bye-bye. I gotta say, that's a heck of a character arc. Swablu was the deadweight of the team pretty much until it evolved, and aside from Magneton, absolutely leading the charge against the Elite Four. As Gyarados goes on, we'll swap into Roselia, slap Leech Seed onto that Dragonair, and the thing is though, this Dragonair and the other one have Shed Skin, so Toxic might not be the most viable strategy, but Leech Seed will always stick. Well, until he swaps into Dragonite and takes him out with Wing Attack. We send Magneton back out, hit it with Thunder Wave, also land Supersonic, very nice, hits itself in Confusion. Unfortunately, Dragonite still overpowers Magneton. We're gonna send out Altaria, hope Dragon Breath takes it out, and it does not. Lance heals, we keep laying in the Dragon Breaths, and for some baffling reason, Dragonite goes for a Hyper Beam, which, thanks to the charge, we're able to finish it off. Alright, boss. So close to one-shotting Dragonair, but no dice. Delcatty finishes off Dragonair number 1, out comes Dragonair number 2. Shed Skin removes Sing, but Assist gives us Toxic. Don't get much use out of it, though. Shed Skin removes it almost immediately. Down goes Delcatty. Last for us is Gardevoir. Aerodactyl's out, we deal a little over half with Psychic, we should be good. Now we get crit by Wing Attack, go figure. But yeah, Lance should be quite simple for us. A little change in strategy and he'll be a lot easier. Now what we really want is for Gyarados to not hit Magneton with Dragon Rage because it is faster. And here we don't get it, we get hit by a Weak Bite, Thunderbolt, easy one-shot. Well, here's some Shed Skin Cheese RNG. 2 Thunder Waves and they both immediately get dispelled. I swap into Roselia, hoping for Leech Seed, but Dragonair's not having any of that. That gives us a free swap into Gardevoir. We're going to set up 2 double teams here. Thankfully, Dragon Rage misses. Now my plan here is to set up some Calm Minds and hope we can evade an attack or 2. That way, once we let off Future Sight, we can deal a lot of damage. And if we take out Dragonair, Future Sight is going to take Dragonair's special defense into the equation. And with this buffed as our special attack is, not one Dragonair goes down, but the second one is also a one-shot. Very good. Out comes Dragonite. Future Sight hits. Perfect. Lance decides to drown Dragonite in full restores, but it doesn't matter because Psychic does so much damage that, yeah, it's gone. Out comes Aerodactyl. We do not get hit. One Psychic, more than enough to take him down, and all that's left is the champion. We'll go ahead and heal up, make our last-minute preparations, and of course, drop a nice healthy save right behind Lance so he can just savor that. And yeah, round 1, hopefully the first and only round against the champion. Let's go. Rather than Magneton, I decided to lead off with Altaria just to see how it matches up. I mean, being 8 levels lower, yeah, I'm sure this is going to go fantastic here. Unfortunately, Safeguard does not protect us from Sand Attack. That's missed. We do paralyze it with Dragon Breath, which is pretty darn nice, and after a Dragon Dance or 2, Aerial Ace is not dealing all that much damage, not surprising given our level gap. Pidgeot's at about a quarter health before we go down. Well, interestingly enough, after we take out Pidgeot with good old Gardevoir, out comes Arcanine. I wasn't expecting that. This should be interesting. After a Calm Mind, Flamethrower doesn't deal too much. I set up a double team for safety, and that doesn't help us too much because we get hit regardless of our evasion boost. Okay, so the moral of the story here is just lead off with Magneton. That'll have him send out Rhydon next because of its ground typing and the fact that we're gonna get destroyed by Earthquake, but, well, I think we have a workaround for that. In fact, although we are slower than Pidgeot, we only get hit by Feather Dance, a wasted term. Thunder Wave gives us the speed advantage. Thunderbolt brings Pidgeot to an absolute sliver, so we're going to send in Roselia to finish it. Ah, there's the swap. Bye-bye, Rhydon. As we take it out with Magical Leaf, out comes Alakazam. We're going to hit it with Leech Seed, thankfully. It tries to stack Future Sight, and we're able to hit it with Toxic. Synchronize doesn't affect us due to us being part Poison type. Now I want to keep Roselia alive for a bit further in the fight, so we're going to send in Gardevoir to resist Alakazam's psychic attacks. Due to the fact that Toxic's damage racks up every turn, Leech Seed is healing us with a little bit. Alakazam is not too much of a threat to us, but who's he going to send out next? Well, it turns out it's Arcanine, and, well, that's okay, because Psychic does a lot of damage to it. Very good. Full restores are whatever. Surviving with 1 health after extreme speed is awesome. Bye-bye, Arcanine. We'll go ahead and let Gardevoir faint to Blastoise. We're going to send out Magneton. We hit with Thunder Wave. Very good, though. Well, Rain Dance is up, and Hydro Pump hits us. We don't finish off a Thunderbolt. Oh, no, there's Rain Dance. My bad, but hey, we hit with Leech Seed. That's good. With Blastoise down for the count, and yeah, we are not going to bother loading Aromatherapy. Our moveset's complete. Last up is the Severely Wounded Pidgeot, and, well, second to last, because Executor exists too. The champion heals Pidgeot with a full restore. We go for Leech Seed. Thankfully, we do a hit, and unfortunately, because we're slower, Roselia gets taken out with 1 Aerial Ace. Put in great work this fight. We're going to send out Altaria in hopes of overpowering this thing with Dragon Breath. It deals a bit more damage to Pidgeot, and what we really want is the Paralysis, which we do get, thankfully. Even if the champion heals, it doesn't matter. We now have the speed advantage. And thanks to Leech Seed, we're going to go ahead and start sending up some Dragonets. We're going to take a bit of damage, including a Sand Attack from Pidgeot, but, well, Aerial Ace makes Sand Attack obsolete, so I appreciate the free turn. Last is Executor, and we win. Because it has Sleep Powder, and we have Safeguard, so we can freely set up. You guys know why by now. If you're new to the channel, just know that here in Generation 3, if you have Safeguard or you're behind a substitute, the AI will continuously go for stuff like Stun Sport or Sleep Powder because it doesn't recognize that you're protected. That's awesome. And yo, check us out as we hit up the Hall of Fame. We are under our level cap, which is amazing. We were under the level cap of the gym leaders too, I believe, so this was awesome. We're not done yet. We gotta go knock out the Sevials. We're gonna go do that real quick and then train for like 8 hours, so now we're gonna be at the league a lot stronger. We're all level 70 now. A reminder that the post-game level cap is 75, the level of the champion starter. I do like the post-game a lot here in Pokemon Fire Red, but since we're just here to beat the Elite Four and the champion in a rematch, not gonna bother showing him. We just kick Team Rocket's butt way out of the Sevials. We help out Lorelei, all that good stuff. And now that we're back, I'm gonna go and punch up our menu here in a sec. All of our Pokemon, once again, are level 70. Yeah, this took a while because I even trained up Delcatty. You never know when she could come in clutch, man. They entered this challenge at the same level, and they're gonna start the rematches at the same level. Oh, and just in case you thought I was exaggerating, about 8 hours later, I'm gonna check our time here, and we're almost at 30 in-game hours. That's a lot of training. Just like before, we're gonna start off by battling Lorelei, and just like before, she starts off with Dugong, and unlike before, we one-shot it with Thunderbolt, no question about it. She sends out Piloswine, replacing Slowbro, a bit of a downgrade. Altaria absorbs Earthquake. We're going to swap out to not get KO'd by Blizzard. Now, I don't want to lose Magneton because Blizzard is still hitting it pretty darn hard. But it's good that we're wasting some of Piloswine's Earthquake, so I take a big chance here and send in Roselia. Blizzard has 70 accuracy, and we get the miss. Very nice. I end up going for Magical Leaf after taking a moment to decide. Does a lot of damage to Piloswine. It is part ground type, but we survived Blizzard. I did not expect that. Lorelei heals with a full restore, so we'll switch to Giga Drain, two-shot it, and shoot ourselves back up to 114 health out of 156. Next up is Cloyster. Roselia outspeeds, one-shots it with a Giga Drain, and is now at full health. Next up is Lapras, and we go for Giga Drain, deal under half, and Ice Beam leaves us with 3 health. I guarantee you that was a low damage roll. Giga Drain again. Lapras goes for Thunder and misses. I don't know why. This Lapras also knows Psychic. Well, Lorelei will heal so we can get back to full health with Giga Drain, and yeah, it turns out it was a damage range the first time around. We'll go and bring in Delcatty, what I've come to call the cleaner of our team, taking out Lapras with Feint Attack. Well, as Jinx comes out, it's faster, doesn't like that name I gave Delcatty, and one-shots it with a critical Ice Beam. But as if it's programmed for revenge, out comes Magneton. Thunderbolt deals well over half, paralyzes Jinx, and it loses its turn to paralysis. That's a 10% chance and then a 1 in 4. Someone's got to do the math on that. Yeah, I find that Lorelei's team is a lot easier in the post-game because Slowbro to Piloswine, though thematically consistent for Lorelei, is quite the downgrade. Now, Bruno's team is upgraded quite a bit because in place of his 2 Onyx, he's got 2 Steelix. They have the same moveset, but different same types due to being Steel Ground now, so Iron Tail will deal a lot more damage. That said, I think the optimal play here, Steelix will take neutral damage from Roselia's attacks, plus Leech Seed, always useful. Toxic, of course, is useless against Steel types. I'm not going to bother with restoring power points, at least not yet, because we still have 3 trainers after Bruno, and that's assuming that he doesn't wall us, because he is a lot more difficult here. Naturally, we outspeed Steelix. We go for Leech Seed. Thankfully, it hits. Iron Tail does well over half of our health. Giga Drain brings us to triple digits. Earthquake brings us to single digits, but thanks to Leech Seed's damage, Magical Leaf is able to take out Steelix. Very good job. So he ends up sending out the second Steelix. Thankfully, Leech Seed does hit. Unfortunately for us, Iron Tail hits. I wish I had that luck with Iron Tail. Now, you might think I'm crazy, but we're going to send in Delcatty, and Delcatty is going to destroy Steelix's attack with Charm, plus Cute Charm could always proc, always very useful when that happens. Now, once we're done using all 3 charms, we're going to try to put this thing to sleep with Sing, and the first one hits, loving that luck. Now, unfortunately, despite the fact we got Magical Leaf from Assist, Steelix does survive, so Bruno will heal it with a full restore. And we gotta play the Sing coin flip game, while Steelix tries to not get constantly immobilized by Love, but we do end up finally putting it to sleep. So I start pulling from the bag of tricks that is Assist. We end up getting Safeguard and Aerial Ace, not great, but we get Calm Mind from Gardevoir, and I think that just might make the difference here. We're gonna use Feint Attack. And check it out, yo, Delcatty took out Steelix with Feint Attack. That was awesome. Against Hitmonchan, might as well spam Charm before it takes us out, and that's gonna happen very fast, unfortunately. We get 2 Charms up, go down to Mach Punch. The crit obviously does not matter. We're gonna send out Altaria, and get ready for the craziest luck you've ever seen. Rock Slide always misses. He goes for Counter, which is actually not a bad idea, but we're setting up, you know? Like, he doesn't just miss 1 Rock Slide. I counted 3, I might have lost track of that. Which also means he goes for 3 counters, because we're able to get all 6 of our Dragon Dances up. Aerial Ace, yeah, bye-bye Hitmonchan. Obviously, we're going to outspeed everything, and because everything else is weak to same type Aerial Ace, Hitmonlee obviously going down is very frail, and Hitmonchan, yeah, Altaria got revenge from last time. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, that fight was insanely fun, and it was awesome to finally give Delcatty a fight where we could show it off for how useful it actually is. And one more thing, I'm really glad that Delcatty has Assist. That's been a ton of fun the entire run. Basically, the way that move works is it's sort of like Metronome in the fact that it's random. However, Assist is limited to the moveset of your teammates. That's also why Delcatty ended up using Fly against Giovanni at Silph Co. Now, Agatha leads off with Gengar like before, and it does love going for Hypnosis. I think it has Toxic as well. Funny enough, it actually goes for Psychic and crits us here, so it's a bad start. But because Gen 3 just can't help but be itself, it goes for Hypnosis after we set up Safeguard. We can buff up with Dragon Dance for a couple of turns, and eventually I decide to test out damage, and we deal a lot of damage, not quite a one-shot unfortunately, but bringing it to red is just fine because as Agatha uses the full restore, we can go ahead and set up another Dragon Dance, after Safeguard that is. So we're not going to play any games against Agatha here. She's typically pretty dangerous in main story and post-game. Gonna fully set up Dragon Dance with +6 going for Aerial Ace. Yeah, Gengar is out of here. Next up's Crobat, but it cannot handle a +6 same type attack bonus Aerial Ace. Next up is Arbok, and despite Intimidate, we still one-shot it with Aerial Ace. Yeah, you notice how fast Altaria's gaining XP? That's kind of awesome, but at the same time with that level cap, the erratic level up group is kind of stressing me out a little bit. We have 3 more levels, which we can use Altaria. 4 rather, but you know what I mean. We don't want this thing getting past level 75. And now, normally I would send out Magneton to battle Lance's Gyarados, but believe it or not, we're actually going to keep Altaria at the front of our party because, well, this little Gyarados here has a change to its moveset. It has Thunder Wave, so you know the drill by now. Nah, just kidding. We're going to whittle it down with Dragon Breath as it tries to paralyze us in vain, and funny enough, we actually end up paralyzing Gyarados off Dragon Breath, making him very jealous that he can't do it to us. Lance will use a full restore, Safeguard will wear off, so we'll set up another one, and we're actually going to send out Gardevoir. That will give us 3 free turns to set up Calm Mind, which combined with same type Psychic is going to deal a lot of damage to this team. Well, there goes Safeguard, we're going to go for Psychic, we are faster than Gyarados, bye-bye. Lance sends out Kingdra next, but we're faster, one-shot with Psychic. Next up is one of his Dragonite, and it also goes down to Psychic, very nice. Aerodactyl's next, hits us with a critical Earthquake, we survive, we crit with Psychic. Last Dragonite's faster, takes us out with Hyper Beam, but that gives us a free swap due to the recharge. Send out Altaria, go for Dragon Breath, hoping for a paralysis, no luck, we get critically hit by Ice Beam, that would have taken us out either way. We send out Delcatty to drop its attack with Charm, but it goes for Outrage, that is special in Gen 3, as all Dragon-type moves are special prior to Generation 4. We're gonna send out Magneton to try to outmuscle this thing. Thankfully, Steel-type does resist Dragon in this game. Thanks to that, we're able to overpower his Ace Dragonite with 2 Thunderbolts. Yeah, honestly, setting up 6 Dragon Dance with Altaria wouldn't have helped us that much because Aerodactyl would have still been a problem. That thing has Rock Slide in Postgame. We would be faster, but we would need a critical hit to be able to one-shot that Aerodactyl due to the fact that Rock-type resists flying. Now, the champion in the postgame, his rematch team is very good. He swaps out Pidgeot for Heracross, which, in my opinion, is a massive upgrade. And speaking of massive upgrades, he doesn't have Rhydon anymore either. He has Tyranitar, a pseudo-legendary. Yeah, his team is like peak Gen 3 design. It's very good. So because he leads off with Heracross, we're going to lead off with Gardevoir and hope to heck we outspeed it. We don't, but it misses Mega Horn. Unfortunately, Psychic does not one-shot it. So close, though. As the champion heals, I go for Calm Mind, hoping for another Mega Horn miss. And, well, it didn't exactly pay off. Yeah, we're just going to send out Altaria here. As Bug Flying, yeah, this thing has no chance of surviving. As Blastoise comes out, I go and set up Safeguard, forgetting completely that this thing has Ice Beam. So, yeah, bye-bye Altaria. Magneton, I choose you. Thunderbolt deals great damage, but Earthquake deals all of the damage. We'll send out Roselia. We're outsped, but survive Ice Beam and take it out with Magical Leaf. Good job, Roselia. Next up, the champion opts to send out Alakazam. I go for Leech Seed, but I'm like, oh yeah, this thing doesn't have Future Sight, so we're done. I mean, Delcatty does survive Psychic, which is pretty cool, but yeah, we're not winning that. And it's right around here where I realize I probably should have leveled the entire team besides Altaria to level 72 because I didn't think I'd be using Altaria nearly this much going into the rematch teams. And because I did, Altaria was able to gain an absolutely insane amount of experience points going through here. But I see a path to victory. That's not very evident right now because we're going through a little montage of Wally getting slapped around by me, our rival. That happens a lot in Invasive Species too, so it's good to see that's also very consistent. But, you know, our little protagonist came all the way from Hoenn to get revenge, and, well, I guess he believes in the motto, the mantra, whatever you want to call it, that revenge is a dish best served cold. Well, there's only one trainer between him and getting rematch championship status, so let's go. We have to lead off with Altaria here. We are faster than Heracross and always one-shot it with Aerial Ace. And we're going to swap into Delcatty to tank Ice Beam, and unfortunately, that's about all it's useful for in this fight. Now, what we want here is to send out Magneton, go for Thunderbolt, does a lot of damage, but it will never survive Earthquake. That's okay, though, because even though Blastoise gets healed by the Citrus Berry, it does not survive Psychic from Gardevoir. Now, next up, he'll send out Alakazam, who has Shadow Ball, which is physical in this game. We're going to set up 2 double teams for safety, and then start setting up some Calm Mind. It's actually kind of funny because Alakazam will also use Calm Mind, which does absolutely nothing for Shadow Ball. Although that's bad because if Gardevoir falls, Calm Mind buffed Alakazam is going to absolutely destroy the rest of our team. We need Calm Mind buffed Psychic and Future Sight to take this thing out before we get taken out. Thankfully with leftovers, we stand a chance. And hey, look at that, Future Sight takes out Alakazam. You didn't see that one coming. Now, as Tyranitar comes out, we're going to set off Future Sight, something that you would not think would work because Future Sight's a Psychic move, and, well, Tyranitar is part Dark type, so it shouldn't work. But it does, and thanks to that, it goes down, but Roselia takes it out with Magical Leaf. Unfortunately, Executor is out next. We slap Toxic on it, but it goes down to Psychic. Man, Roselia was awesome this entire run. And it's up to Altaria. Thankfully, Executor still has Sleep Powder, so we can lock it into the Gen 3 Love status lock yet again. We're not messing around here. We are going to buff up to +6 with Dragon Dance. We're going to need that because Arcanine is last, and it does have Extreme Speed. I think Takedown as well. And this is exactly why I wanted Toxic up, because Toxic does not quite take out Executor, but that's fine because the champion will heal, and that'll give us another chance to set up if need be. After Dragon Dance, I go for Safeguard, but a bit too early. It actually ends on this turn. And another thing that's awesome and actually had some synergy with Toxic was Tyranitar Sandstream. In Generation 3, it whips up a Sandstorm like it does normally, but it lasts for the entire battle. Our leftovers will undo it, but it continues to chip away at Executor, which is pretty great. He sends off a useless light screen as we take him out with Aerial Ace and hit level 73. Last up is Arcanine. We go for Aerial Ace, deal great damage. We get hit by Iron Tail. I forgot he had that. The champion uses what I'm guessing is his last full restore, but doesn't matter. We deal over half damage. One more Aerial Ace, down goes the rematch champion, and Wally has become the champion of Kanto twice. Now you better savor that victory, little guy, because, well, that's not gonna happen going forward because Invasive Species is continuing in 2025, so better get ready for that, Wally. And I have to say, turns out I feel like I leveled up an appropriate amount. I mean, a little bit more would not have hurt. Level 72 would have probably been optimal. But you know what? I don't mind. We got through it. We got to show off all of our Pokemon on Wally's team, kicking some butt in one way or another. My favorite fight was definitely Delcatty versus Steelix, though, I gotta say. Hey, speaking of Wally's team, who is your favorite Pokemon on this team? Let me know. I like everybody on this team, but I have to say, my favorite is probably Magneton. Yeah, definitely Magneton. At any rate, I really hope you guys enjoyed that run, and I think it was an awesome way to send off 2024. And yeah, look at that. We have 30 hours and 28 minutes. Coming up on screen now are some runs you guys can look forward to in 2025, and Invasive Species will resume on January 6th of 2025. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, I apologize for the delay in upload between the Smooch and Manelakid runs. Alright guys, I will see you all in 2025 later.